What's up, guys? Today we're talking about this knife. This is the Spyderco Delica. This is a very popular knife, and it's been around a very long time. People love the Delica for a lot of different reasons, and this is the example that I have right now. This happens to be a sprint run with these kind of like dark burgundy kind of FRN handles, and this particular one has micromelt PD number 1 steel. Now, I looked it up a little bit. It seems to be it's a tool steel, a powder metallurgy tool steel that has good wear resistance and really good toughness. So I'm thinking similar to Crewwear, but I could be wrong. I've never used it. This is a very sharp edge. I didn't really use this at all. I'm just speaking to the design of the knife, so take this kind of review as a grain of salt. I will say this knife does nothing for me. It's a Spyderco Delica. It's very plain. It's very boring. It's a very standard Spyderco. It's got these nice cheap FRN handles. I can say that a little bit sarcastically because it feels a little bit cheap to me. Now I know they're really grippy and they're really light and they do really high quality work. Their FRN that they use is really high quality. My camera cannot focus. There you go. But as far as I can tell, it just feels a little bit cheap to me. And it's a little bit small. I know they have the Endura and the other sizes of this, so the size isn't something that really bugs me because they have other sizes, of course. But the Delica really just doesn't do much for me. It's just a very plain standard knife, backlock, very manual open, manual close. I mean, it's pretty stiff. I know they get a little smoother and smoother as you open and close them, but this really doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't, speak to my enthusiast kind of desires, I guess you would say. But it's a good knife and it's been around forever, and obviously it's tried and true. It's a classic. I'll do some comparisons here with some other knives, and these are other ones that are kind of classics at this point, like the Bug Out. So comparison with a Benchmade Bug Out, you can see it's very similar in size to that. The problem with Spyderco's is they don't have much blade compared to their handle. So you can see here the Bug Out gets more blade for almost the same size handle. Actually, smaller handle, it looks like. So the blade to handle ratio it's a Spyderco, so it's very far off than what I prefer. We got a QSP Penguin, also kind of a classic at this point. Really good EDC. These are smallish knives. I would consider a smaller knife, at least for my hands. But here you can see it's a little bit smaller than those. Definitely less blade length than the Penguin. And then we'll compare it to some other classic knives, like the other classic Spyderco's PM2, which I prefer a lot more because I like the compression lock, and the Para 3. This one's still breaking in, it's brand new. Which this one also has that FRN. Feels like a cheaper FRN. Maybe that's because there's no liners, and this has the whole back lock. But you can see here, it's about the size of the Para 3, I would say. So it's kind of like an old school Para 3, if you ask me. And you get pretty much the exact same cutting edge. So I would say it's a backlock Para 3 is basically what the Delica is. So that's that comparison between those. Other classic ones include the Manix 2. So this one's in Rex 45. I happen to really like this knife for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it's still kind of ugly to me. But I don't know, something kind of, maybe it's the colorway and that Rex 45 steel. I've been enjoying the steel quite a bit, and this is a very bitey edge, and I don't know, I like this colorway on this knife. But there, as you can see there, it's definitely smaller than that as well. So the Delica is basically your basic Spyderco. There's not a ton of stuff special with it. It's just a simple backlock. Very strong. Spyderco does an excellent job of their quality is excellent. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this at all. Machining, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's molded, so it's not much machining work done. But everything that they do to like their quality control here is very good. Their heat treatment is excellent from what I've heard. And I know it's excellent on. I've used a couple of my other Spydercos, and it seems to be really good heat treatment on those. Um, but I do not know how this the heat treatment on this is. But it's kind of interesting. It kind of like snubs down in the front here. The nose does. Kind of tilts down right at the end. I thought that was interesting. I never really noticed that about the Delica. This is the first Delica I've ever owned. I've seen a bunch of fakes. They make fake Delicas a lot because they've been around so long and because they're so popular. But yeah, it's kind of a skinny handle. You don't get, at least my hands, I can't really get, I could squish my fingers in there. I can get 4 fingers, but then my thumb lands up here. If I squish back, kind of like I'm squishing my hand together. I think a bigger knife would be a little bit better for my hands. So this one's a little bit small, but if you have smaller hands, this is probably ideal size wise. And if you like backlocks, then here you go. But for me, this doesn't really do anything. I mean, it doesn't really appeal to me as a knife as much. It's kind of very basic, very plain. At least the Buck 110 has, it's shiny and it's got the nice wooden handles with the the brass bolsters on the ends, and it looks nice to me. But this one looks very ugly. I mean, this is classic ugly Spyderco, if you ask me. And that's just the way I feel about it. I mean, I've said this before in my PM2 review. Spydercos, they work really well in use, but I think they're ugly. So, and that's okay. Some knives I'm okay with being ugly, like the PM2. I happen to not mind how it looks. I mean, it's ugly, but it's all right. And it happens to work really well. I mean, look how fidgety this thing is. A lot of fun. All these different ways of opening it. That's the other thing. Maybe if this broke in, I'd be able to flick it a bunch and it'd be more fidgety. But right now, I mean, I don't know if it'll even. Yeah, no, it's a little bit stiff. I haven't. Yeah, you can't even Spidey flick it. Well, if you do it really hard, you can. But if this broke in, it would probably be a lot better to open and close. But right now, it's just really stiff. Yeah. So that's the Delica. Yep. I prefer fancier stuff like Riots. And because it's got all this machining, all these enthusiast elements to it, very smooth action, excellent detents, stuff like that. This is like this Riot Tiger. This is brand new, by the way. I just got this at a knife show. It's pretty epic. I went to. Pretty sweet. Awesome knife. Been loving it. But this doesn't have that machining kind of deal and the smooth action and the, one-handed opening and closing. I mean, you can one-hand open it, but you can't. If you do it like this, you can one-hand close it certain ways, especially if it gets smoother, you'd be able to. But it's just not my style. And at least the bug out here, I can open and close it with one hand really quickly. I know backlocks aren't as easy to do that with, but yeah, it's very basic. I mean, if you need a really basic good knife that'll last forever, this is a good deal. I mean, it'll definitely take care of you. Spyderco has, they have great materials, and it'll last a long time. I haven't had a great experience with their warranty. I know other people probably have. I've heard good things about their warranty, but I've tried to warranty 2 of my knives now, and they are a little bit difficult to work with, at least with the ones I've tried to warranty. But I'm not going to speak a ton on that, but because it's different from one case to another. But yeah, so I would consider Benchmade's warranty slightly better, but maybe that's just my experience. This one is made in Seki City, Japan, which the stuff coming out of Seki City, Japan, they do a really good job of work over there, as well as the ones built in the U.S. They're both of the factories do really good work, so nothing to worry about there. Nice Spyderco here. It's got the little steel label, steel logo on there, and it says, I think it's kind of cool that they put Spyderco Delica 4 on the little crest here in the middle. I think that's a cool touch. I also like how this grippy pattern goes like away from the center, like the spider's in the center of his web, and that's kind of like the web. I don't know, that's kind of a cool way to do it. It's got a lot of jimping up here, and this jimping is aggressive. So you put your hand up there, you can definitely lock it in. I mean, it's not like super aggressive, but it grabs your finger really well. So they did a good job at that as well. If I squish all my fingers together, I get a good grip. But like I said, I'd probably prefer a bigger one like the PM2. So overall, this is a reversible cock clip. Overall, it's pretty good. I mean, as a knife, it's excellent. There's nothing to complain about as like a utilitarian tool here. This is great. Like, it has everything you need. I mean, a lot of my knives do. So, but I happen to like knives I can fidget with, and knives that have titanium and fancy materials. But if you just need a knife, you could totally get one of these and it'll be fine. But for me, it's not what I like to carry. That's all. So if you like this knife, let me know. Let me know what you think. I know it's a little bit controversial for me to say bad things about the Delica, but I'm just not a huge fan, and that's all there is to it. So yeah, let me know what you think. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about this one. Not really a review, just showing it off, compare it to some other ones and stuff. It's very light, which is cool. It'd be a good running knife or whatever. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and have a great day. Bye.